So how are we trying to leverage focusing upon developing a luxury brand, a luxury collaboration brand, to be able to try to also develop reality TV? Oh, stay till the end to find out. Stay till the end to find out how to make more global impact. Stay till the end to find out. It's like a little bit of a video game. We're trying to make like a little bit of a video game, as you can sort of hear the sound of. So, the video game, more or less, is entailing reality TV. That's the video game. That's the video game. Because we've been sort of tracking the film industry and such things, and where the film industry is going, the film industry of the past, since we're kind of living in the future now. And the film industry of the past is largely influenced by digital content that can be developed from AI, as you know. So for this reason, we're sort of tracking where it's all going, what the direction is of things. And if you will, one of our biggest stakes into the future of mindsets regarding the film industry and forward motion has to do with the essence of reality TV. So we're in essence trying to combine reality TV with Realty TV, like real estate, realty, and reality TV. And at the same time they meet in the center, and we're making this little video game correspond to the essence of developing luxury goods. The essence of developing luxury goods, meaning like a combination of being a consultant and in the Far East, sort of in the Asian side of things, we're trying to be a little bit of a consultant in terms of like design development for like somewhat the fashion industry, I guess you could call it, or like some of the products therein, or they're in between, so that we have like a little bit of a broker's structure, if you will. Like a broker's structure, like we're in essence also making our own swag. But at the same time, we're also trying to, like, our own merchandise for our own brand. DinkTech Change for Games. DinkTech Change for Game Studios. We have a logo. Dinky Tech has a logo. If you look on some of the podcasts, there's a logo, and it's a logo that took some time to design, for example. And so it's something along the lines of future designs in regards to, like, developing more alignment with the fashion brands and industry. So as a consultant and as a video game development process to also combine that like real reality TV with Realty TV, we're trying to combine these different elements, and that's part of what this podcast helps do. It's like mixing different stew and different pieces of doo-doo, which is a joke, but it is, because we're sometimes using weird items to stick things together so that to see if they'll stick. And sometimes they don't always come out tasting that good. And so that's okay, I guess you could say. But nonetheless, what we want to do today is figure out how to functionally be more aligned with our goals in the short and long-term process of how to ask the market for permission so that we can make more speed scaling processes. In essence, yesterday's podcast was more or less entitled and related to the focus on scaling speed. Scaling speed! And that's not necessarily something you can exactly measure. It's just speed in of itself we're trying to scale. As a thing, speed can fluctuate. It could go up, it could go down, it could go fast, it could go slow. But the essence of speed in of itself is the essence of the metric that we're trying to scale. And it's not necessarily in the metric to where it can be measured. It's just the essence of the metric of the title of speed, if you will. So we're trying to scale speed. And nonetheless, we've also laid out the essence that is a necessity, which corresponds to developing circles and spreading them and throwing them all around the world rampantly throwing them all around the world in the form of circles that correspond to low stakes to begin with. Starting with low stakes with these circles and then ramping that up. Starting with low stakes and ramping up. And one of the ways which we're trying to do it with this reality TV concept, reality TV and Realty TV, as well as developing desktop applications for things such as laptops and the Apple Laptop Store. Yeah! So one of the things that corresponds to this in addition is asking the market for permission as like the step one, the stage one, and if you will, for this process of trying to develop more actual sales by starting with low stakes, by just like making content that's more so like aligned with the film industry, if you will, like producing content, having producers, production molecules, producers around the globe, around the world, revolving around reality TV content. Reality TV, a lot of interesting shows are conjured up in your mind when you think about reality TV, except a lot of reality TV in the past is not necessarily aligned with reality, unfortunately. A lot of those reality TV shows are contrived. So we actually are trying to make actual reality TV with some reality and then functionally align that with news and journalism and broadcasting in that fashion, and then broadcasting like Broadway shows at the same time. So we have contrived it like a philanthropy flash mob, for example, is one alignment in this fashion, where it's like half natural and half contrived and half staged, if you will. But the things that are meant to unfold are like philanthropy energy in a trajectory sense that are similar to like a business being born to begin with. But it's just taking the essence of business energies, of natural, magical business energies that are able to grow in terms of trajectories, and reflect that on the essence of scaling speed for our company growth, which is just an energy growth, if you will, regardless nonetheless. So we're trying to scale our energy growth and scale the essence of speed by asking the market to begin with, by leveraging reality TV combined with Realty TV, real estate TV combined with reality TV, so that in essence we're fundamentally and functionally able to sell at the same time as we're developing content, and we're just also trying to leverage something which is a product in of itself. Reality TV is very much a product in of itself. And so we're trying to leverage distribution deals ultimately in addition. But the thing is, that's the but, which is like the tiny first step number one to begin with in this little process, is asking the audience for permission. As content presentation for content being a part of the actual product in of itself, which is what the film industry is. It's developing films as products, but then again, they have to use the films to also market the films to get people to want to watch the films. So that's the fundamental first step in essence, is asking them permission to watch it to begin with, and that's the first sort of step and the secret sauce, I hope to think, for our little production molecules that are like templates, basically templates that we're throwing out into the world, throwing out into the sky, throwing out in an abundant sense, so that in essence we can start with low stakes and then ramp up. Start with low stakes and ramp up by starting out with content that in of itself is a product in essence, but that is just like a face of the product more or less, and the rest of the body corresponds to a lot of merchandise and merchandising, if you will, and we can leverage reality TV to develop merchandising, and so we can buy more sales off of the profit margins that are generated from additional print-on-demand sales on the back end of developed sales from the front end of content development. So in essence, it's like having a reality TV show that in essence is starting by asking the audience for permission to come into the room to watch a little more, to taste a little bit more, like have one lick of the ice cream, and if you like the one lick enough, then you'll come into the room where you can have a whole bowl and a spoon to get more ice cream, more or less. So once we've developed enough of those taste tests, enough of those little tiny samples of ice cream samples, and we get enough people into the room where we can just bombard them with ice cream, then in essence we're trying to focus, at least today, on today's podcast episode, we're trying to focus on a specific example of the type of content, of a type of a reality show specifically that we would develop, which corresponds to the essence of luxury goods development consulting. Luxury goods development consulting is the essence of the first sort of reality type show, which we want to conduct and connect with in a combination that sort of combines the essence of the luxury market regarding Hong Kong and Tokyo. Hong Kong and Tokyo combined in a certain respect to the luxury goods markets. And so it's kind of like, like Hong Kong, Japan goods, to be able to bring that to the forefront for the first little recipe for the reality TV that we're trying to functionally relate to, because in essence, out in that side of the world, we're trying to be like a little bit of a consultant for handbags. So handbag development, like we found sort of a seemingly competent handbag partnership, if you will, or handbag partner, to the extent to where they're functionally able to just leverage their expertise and design to be able to ultimately correspond to people that want to make their own handbag lines. So from the essence of having this ability, we're sort of hoping to be a consultant and then be in the middle as a designer, as someone who's like a little bit of a design consultant in the middle, to not just connect the dots as a broker's broker, like being a broker's broker in essence, by being a broker on one side for the people that want to get more business by developing, in essence, more goods and services that are quality materials, quality craftsmanship, quality all the way through. The same as the luxury brands that are conceptually and in quotes from the larger brand making establishment conglomerates in Europe, for example. And so we've got the same alignment in our like Hong Kong Tokyo sort of luxury goods brand, consulting brand, to be able to help the world to make these consulting more or less like their own brands, their own handbag brands in essence, to try to compete and go up into the markets that connect with these larger brands, these large-scale brands that don't treat people very nice. They're not very nice in general, like their attitudes in stores and such things. They prey on the essence of focusing on people where they need to make them feel like they're not good enough to, in essence, buy something, and they try to play into security to be able to sell more goods and services in the luxury brands market. Whereas we're trying to take that ethic, we're trying to take that mentality, we're trying to take that focus and shift it into the mindset of service and respect and competency and appreciation of customer appreciation, and then at the same time develop brands and be a broker's broker to brands that want to develop their own brands, and helping conduct and align connection with the ability to develop competent and ideal outcome handbag brands, if you will, to be able to compete and connect with the quality that is available at scale, to then be able to have this consulting mindset, be able to influence the fashion world at scale with higher quality than is available by a select number of brands that in essence are focused on trying to dominate the market, and they don't do it in a way that helps to benefit the world after all. Like in essence, when we're trying to focus on respect as a foundational and fundamental sales methodology, then we're in essence trying to make the world a better place, as opposed to most of these fashion brands that are just internally focused, and they're internally focused on manipulation to be able to better their own situations and statuses and stock prices thereafter. And so this video game which we're trying to align with, the Reality and Realty TV that we're trying to develop and produce in alignment with the evolving film industry, if you will, which we also like to call for ourselves the business music film industry in essence, which corresponds to more philanthropy and more philanthropy energy into the world in essence, by this essence of respect being exceptionally expansive in terms of our focus, our alignment, and our methodology for connecting our own customers, our own clientele with their own brands, if you will, to be able to develop product lines that also entail customization in a unique fashion which can scale. And so therefore they can scale their own brands in an ideal respect alongside of us, we alongside them, whereas brokers, we're trying to start by asking the markets for permission by developing this reality TV, this video game reality TV show in the form of a brand, which is also typically a TV show in the film industry, is a brand, and alignment with this respect, this essence, and this state, and this nature of respect, and therefore translating and transitioning this energy into philanthropy energy in the grander and greater sense into the rest of the world, developing thereby the global philanthropy energy grid, and the global good deeds economy, and the global philanthropy energy grid. Yeah. So at the same time, we want to take care of all the shelter animals in the world. We want to clear the animal shelters. We want to foster all the shelter animals. And at the same time, we want to care for all the animals in the world so that we can hire all the animals and all the shelter animals in the world to then, therefore, just like in the Netherlands, clear the animal shelters, just like in the Netherlands, where we have respect. Respect is fundamental and foundational for the animals, and so we can find a way to reciprocate, just like the animals are giving us healing energy, and we can find a way to align with the shelter animals, and as they are healers in essence, and they have healing energy, we hire the shelter animals to be able to serve as healers among and throughout communities in the short term, in the long term, in the micro, in the macro, in the local, in the global sense. So ultimately, thanks for stopping by. That's about it for now, and hopefully you'll hear more soon enough about our luxury goods and services brand consultancy, if you will, that connects in essence the Hong Kong and Tokyo luxury goods markets and the luxury development processes and proceedings and procedures to develop interesting, unique internal brand products from Dink Tech Change for Games, and at the same time our consultancy outreach connections, if you will, to develop as a broker's broker more brands and more franchises and more connectivity to more respectable and ethical brands, brand development, brand processes, and therefore brand energy and philanthropy energy around the world. Yeah! So that's all for now. That's the video game essence of this episode. Asking the market for permission. Thanks again. For now, Dink Tech Change for Games, Dink Tech Change for Games Studios. Thanks again. Peace.